Hi guys, and welcome to SnipBit, the podcast to show that you can be successful in your chosen field, no matter what your background or start in life. Today, I am massively honoured to welcome an athletics legend, Donovan Bailey, Olympic, World, Commonwealth champion at 100 metres, the first Canadian to legally break the 10-second barrier, and inducted into the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame in 2004 and 2008. Donovan, welcome to SnipBit.
Haley, thanks for having me. It's always good to talk to my great friends across the water.
I bet it's nicer weather with you than us, though.
I bet you not. Today, it's minus 14 outside. So
wow.
no. So I would rather have rain.
Donovan, obviously you've been massively successful, but do you think your background and upbringing have been a factor in what you've achieved?
Listen, my background and my upbringing is the major factor in anything that I do. I always tell, anytime I tell my story, I always remind people that, I was a mama's boy and my dad was my best friend. So I had the greatest support system from my house. I had the greatest supporters. They taught me that my goals should be limitless and my achievements should be the very best. So, all the great surroundings and the people that I had allowed me to be successful. It still does today. I mean, I am definitely surrounded by the village. I've had great teachers, great coaches. So all of these contribute to me being a success.
That's amazing, just to have that support system around you.
Absolutely. No, it's incredible. One of the things I tell people all the time is that it is very necessary to always surround yourself with people that want the best for themselves and want the best for you. And if those two things play out all the time, you will be successful and be a productive member of society in whatever you choose.
Well, they say, don't you, you're the sum of the 6 people that you hang out with. Would you say that?
You are, right. You are who your friends are. Is that what they say? Yes.
So obviously you've got a really strong growth mindset. Do you think that's been important to your career?
Well, I think that, yes. I mean, the short answer is absolutely yes. If you're competing in sports at the highest level, especially in track and field, which is an individual sport, much like tennis or golf, if you're not confident, then you will not have a career. Ultimately, the work that you put in, how disciplined you are, how focused you are, comes down to your singular self. And so ultimately, if you're not confident in the work that you do, the people that are providing that work for you to do, and for you to go out there to do it in front of crowds and media, stadiums packed with people and pressurized situations. If you're not confident, then there is no chance that you'll be successful.
So do you think the hardest thing was the physical racing, the media, or the crowds?
Wow, tough question. You know what? I think for me personally, I think the hardest thing was the discipline for the work that I had to do to get there. I think that it's very tedious and monotonous and boring. The work that you have to put in every single day, because you're trying to, in my case, or maybe Linford's case, or Colin's case, or anyone that does track and field, really, Daly's case, you are trying to take 1/1000th of 1 second, or a millimeter, off your time, or if you're throwing something, and every single day you're putting in 6, 7, 8, 10 hours of work for that. So the work they have to do to get there, I think is much harder. I think that people always look at the glory, and always look at the assets, and always look at the diamonds and pearls and the cars and the houses, private planes and whatever. But really, all of those things are the sum total of the work that you put in. So for me, the most difficult part was work, and understanding that work was not routine, understanding that every single day you have to make a plan. I mean, and that also has to do with the surroundings and the people that you are, the people that you're surrounding yourself with. the environment that you're in. So all of those things encompasses, a great success result. But the work that you put in for me was always, the monotonous, boring things that I really hated. I hated practice is actually just what I'm saying.
You live for competition. Is that fair to say?
Well, competition is, yes, I think that an adrenaline rush. I mean, I don't know what it's like to take drugs, whether it's steroid or recreational. I do not know what that's like, but I can tell you that the greatest drug in the world is adrenaline. I think that when you get on a high where, there's huge expectations either of your fans, yourself, your country, your coach, your training partner. I mean, there's no better high than that. So yeah, I love competition.
So obviously you've had this massive success, as we've said, but was there a point in your career that you thought, yeah, I know I'm going to be really successful?
You know what? I was taught as a kid by my parents that whatever it is that I do, I need to focus and be disciplined and commit myself, and also to give it my 100%. So I was taught from I was very young that if I put the work in, I was going to be successful. And so in the many careers that I've had, post-track, post-athletics, and after, I've made the exact same dedication. So I knew and was confident that if I put the work in, I was going to be successful. So yes, for sure.
So in all this time, what was your biggest challenge, and how did you overcome it?
Well, my biggest challenge, I think, was sometimes lack of focus. I think if I get bored with something, I could be distracted. So I think that having the right coach and the right environment and sunshine and heat, great food, a fantastic place to live, a great nutritionist, a good chef, mine was always not to be distracted. And I think that was always a tough thing for me. So the challenge was to be completely focused. And thank God I met Dan Paff. He got me on the road. He understood me. We had the great ability to communicate every single day. He challenged me to be the best me. I challenged him to be the best coach that he could be. And so the end result of that is I won every single championships that I ever went into. So for that, I'm very thankful of that. But yeah, it took a while for him to kind of get me focused and get me on the road for me to be completely focused to achieve the things that I did.
And that's amazing, really, to have that single-minded dedication.
Well, I think there's a lot of people. I think that what we have found, and especially some of the, I call them the corporate athletes. A lot of the CEOs, the many hundreds of CEOs I've spoken to or addressed around the world. I think that when you have a conversation with them, especially like a dialogue like this, it's as opposed to just a speech. I think they understand that some of the simple mannerisms that I have, or the characteristics that I have, or I've embraced through my life to be successful, are the exact same that they do and they have. So in order for you to be a great journalist, you have to have the exact same characteristics. You have to, one, surround yourself with incredible people that are going to teach you incredible things, and two, you got to put the work in, and three, you got to be disciplined. So all of those are the exact same characteristics that you're gonna have to do every day to be successful.
So obviously you talked about your coach and you talked about your parents, but was there anybody else that was like a driving force behind your success and inspired you? Well,
there's many people. I always try to find, and I tell this to people all the time, obviously my parents are my mentors. I always talk about that. But growing up, I was a huge boxing fan, so I used to watch Muhammad Ali. And I used to watch everything about Muhammad Ali. I watched how he laughed, mannerisms, how he joked with the media, how he educated people through laughter, and then how he went out and kicked some butt. You know, so I think that, so, and I love that. So, I mean, and there's people, I mean, my God, I mean, I got to meet Muhammad Ali, but I'm saying, you know, I mean, you're related to Daley Thompson. There's another guy that I saw when I was much younger, watching him compete, and also understand the ability to get out there and show what your individual talents are, but also how you manage things, manage the media, be respectful of everybody. I mean, obviously that's back to our culture where it's, you know, you have to have manners and respect, you know. So with that, Linford was before me, you know, so I saw how Linford managed Carl Lewis, you know, so I got to not only compete against some of the people that I saw, but I'm friends with those people. And so getting to watch someone like Muhammad Ali, and then get to meet him in the latter part of his, latter part of my career, you know, was fantastic. So I look for mentors everywhere. I always look for, if I'm going into any business, whatever that business might be, whether or not it's an endorsement or an ambassadorial role, or I'm been appointed to a board of advisors, I will deep dive into trying to find out exactly all what it is I need to know about that company. But more importantly, the person that built that company, I want to know every single thing about them. So that person becomes my mentor. So for me, as a constant student, I will always have mentors. I mean, I've mentioned a few, that's in sports, but certainly I have a ton in business, I have a ton in media, I have a ton in philanthropy, you know, so I continue to always have a great network of fantastic people that I can always reach in or reach out to and speak to about something that I might have on my mind. And I always like to be surrounded with the people that I think are the most successful and the smartest in what it is that they do.
I have to say, this has been one of the major benefits of doing this podcast, is meeting such great people like yourself. So
fantastic. Great to meet you.
It's great, huh? I have the best job.
Yes, so, you do.
If you imagine you're stood in front of your teenage self now, what advice would you give yourself and why?
God, you know what? I was a very impatient kid. I wanted to be grown up too quick. I wanted to get to be a man. I wanted to buy a car. I wanted to own a house. And I think that if I had to address my teenage self, it would be probably to be more patient. I mean, impatience got me to be really successful, but I don't know if I enjoyed all of it the way I think I should have. So I think that's, even when I got to track and when I got to athletics and I was the #1 sprinter in the world, I really enjoyed myself. I'd come to England. I know that they had a track meet, you know, that day or that afternoon. I'm going to find a really nice restaurant and we're going to have the best food and a nice glass of wine. So yeah, I enjoyed myself then. But to my teenage self, I would say, have a little more patience, and certainly understand the people that you meet along the way. Most of those people are going to be, influential in your life over the span of your lifetime. And some of those good people are going to be your friends forever. So be nice to them.
I think that's good advice anyway, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so. I hope so.
So what would you like to be remembered for, Donovan?
Wow. You know what? As far as sports is concerned, I think that that legacy is boxed up and polished. I think that I gave it my all on the track. I took advantage of any opportunity that I had, to become successful in track and field. But for me, I think that I probably want to be remembered as a good guy. I want to be remembered as one of the guys who used my platform for good. I want to be remembered, as a great father, like my father was to me. I want to be remembered, in light of, the racial pandemic that's going on around the world right now. I use my platform for good. I use my platform to help people. The charities and the philanthropy that I have on that side. I want to be remembered for helping to build schools around the world, helping to educate children, raising money for Alzheimer's and for cancer, and to raise money and awareness and help kids be phenomenal, fantastic future legends and future leaders. So, for the sum total of all what I just said, I hope that I'm working towards that. I'll continue to work towards that as long as I'm breathing. And if there's anything that is worthy of having the word legacy beside it, or to be remembered for, I hope that all the things I just mentioned, I ticked all those boxes.
That's some remembrance, isn't it?
I hope so. I hope that I mean, obviously I continue to work every single day, and the charities that I embrace and support, these are the things that are really near and dear to my heart, and also I'll continue to get up and work every day and to be the best guy, the best partner, and the best father that can possibly be.
Amazing. So what are you up to now, and where can we find you?
Well, I'm working in media, just like a lot of, if you're an Olympic champion, you're doing one of two things. You're either working in front of the camera in media, or you're coaching. I don't have the patience to coach, or the tolerance for some of these spoiled athletes, me being one of them at one point. So I do work in media. I'll be looking forward to the Olympic Games in 2021. I'll be with the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, CBC. I'll be with them. I'm on several boards. I do have a foundation that builds schools across the world, and I do help support and raise money for, as I said, cancer and Alzheimer's. And I'm certainly and as an entrepreneur. I am still the CEO of Bailey Inc., and we're involved in several corporate initiatives around the country, in Canada, and certainly around the world. So this is 2021 is the 25th anniversary of Atlanta. So we have some incredible marketing initiatives that we're going to roll out this year, including a book and a documentary, which I hope that my many fans across the pond there in the UK, it'll be available to you.
I can't wait, Donovan. Sounds really exciting.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Really appreciate your time.
Well, thank you very much, Haley. Thanks for having me on. And, again, I guess it's the same advice around the world, wash your hands and stay safe.
100%.